Hi guys, welcome back to the first episode of my new series, The Director's Chair. Today we're looking at the genius world of David Lynch. So let's get into it. Welcome back to the Director's Chair. We're looking at analysis on directors today. So when people think of directors, people think of Martin Scorsese, Steven Spielberg, Christopher Nolan. But there is one person who has a genius at what he did, and had a great vision. He knew what he wanted to do. He had good imagination and he had good creativity. So we're talking about David Lynch. Now, David Keith Lynch was an American filmmaker, visual artist, and actor. He was born January 20th, 1946. He's currently, as of right now, he's 77, and he's known for. He's probably one of the most filmmakers of the current era. And so I'm going to go through his filmography and all the stuff he's done. So let's get into it. So it all started in 1977 when he released a movie called Eraserhead. Now this was his first movie, and this starred Jack Nance, Charlotte Stewart, Jan Bates, Judith Anna Roberts, and Jack Fisk. And it was successful. It was okay. Received positive reviews upon its release. It's now considered a cult film. And this was a good movie. This is a classic David Lynch movie. I love this movie. It's a really good movie. You should check it out. It's a really good movie. I enjoyed it. It's basically about the horror movie, which this is right up David Lynch's alley, and he would continue using this in further movies. Then in 1980, he would put out a film called The Elephant Man. This starred John Hurt, Anthony Hopkins, Anne Bancroft, John Gielgud, Wendy Hiller, Michael Elp Hick, Hannah Gordon, and Freddie Jones. And this was based on Joseph Merrick, he was a severely deformed man in the 19th century London. And this inspired David Lynch to make this movie. It was a commercial critical success. It made around 26 million, which I'm gonna say how much Eraserhead made. It only made 7.1 million. And this one is a good David Lynch movie. It's one of my favorite ones. And it's not as good as Eraserhead, but I still enjoy it for what it is. Then in 1984, he will make a movie called Dune, which is based on a novel of the same name by Frank Herbert. And so this movie starred Patrick Stewart, Brad Dourif, Dean Stockwell, Virginia Madsen, Josie Ferrasting, Linda Hunt, and Max von Sydow. And it will also star Carl McLachlan. And this was Dune. This was the one from 1984, which obviously we got. It was adapted again in 2021 by Denis Villeneuve, and this one's okay. I kind of prefer the Denis Villeneuve one, but I think it's okay. For it was, it had it was a box office bomb, but I think it got positive reviews. Upon release, it had negative reviews. I think now it's been looked at as like a cult film, but there was at least 4 versions have been released worldwide. Lynch largely disowned the finished film, and had his name removed from certain cuts or when credited under pseudonyms. The film has a cult following, but opinion varies among fans of the novel and fans of Lynch's film. I think it's an okay movie. I don't think it's as good as the 2021 one, but I think it's okay for what it is. Obviously we didn't get any sequels, but in 1986, he would release Blue Velvet, which was a neo-noir mystery thriller film. It starred Carl McLachlan, Isabel Rossellini, Dennis Hopper, and Laura Dern, and is named after the 1951 song of the same name. And this film was about a college student who's returning to his father's son, discovers a severed human ear in the field. The ear then leads him to the undercover of Artist Spirit and into a romantic relationship with a troubled lounge singer. Initially divided, received a divided critical response, with many saying that its explicit content served little artistic purpose. Nevertheless, I think it's been a cult film. It was credited for revitalizing Hopper's career and for providing Rossellini with a dramatic outlet beyond her previous work as a fashion model and a cosmetic spokesman. In the years, the film has been reevaluated, and is now widely considered one of Lynch's major works. It only made 8.6 million, which on a 6 million budget, which that is not really good return. But it's not okay. I actually like this. Is one of my favorite David Lynch movies. Um, in 1990, Lynch will direct the movie Wild at Heart. Um, Now, this was starred Nicolas Cage, Laura Dern, Diane Ladd, William Dafoe, Harry Dean Stanton, and Isabel Rossellini. And this was a black comedy romantic crime film. Early test screenings for the film had a poor reception. Lynch estimated that 300 people walked out of the early screening on the film. The film had mixed critical reviews and only grossed $40 million on its $10 million budget. Um, and it's since been possibly reevaluated by critics. And this is a good movie. I like Nicolas Cage in this movie. William Dafoe is good in this. You have Crispin Glover. You have Laura Dern, who will frequently show up in Lynch's movies. Um, so in 1992, we had Twin Peaks: Fire Walk with Me. Now, I will get into Twin Peaks later when we go on the TV shows he's done. Um, Now, this is a psychological horror directed by David Lynch, and it also serves as a prequel to the television series Twin Peaks, which was co-created by Mark Frost and David Lynch, and it revolves around the investigation into the murder of Theresa Banks, and so this movie so actually this movie is actually I actually like this movie. Um yeah so this also stars Nora Flynn Boyd, Joel Flynn, and Richard Brummer. They did not reappear for various reasons. Um Donna Haywood was recast with Maura Kelly. Um the film received positive reviews um, in the United States. It was a box office failure domestically, but fared much better in Japan. It has been positively reevaluated in the 21st century, with some critics consider it one of Lynch's major works. Two planned sequels never came into fruition, but 91 minutes worth of deleted scenes were released in 2014 through the compilation Twin Peaks: The Missing Pieces, which was released in 2014. And the show's narrative continued um, in the miniseries Twin Peaks: The Return. It made 4.2 million on a $10 million budget, which isn't really a good return. This is a really good movie. I like this. I like Twin Peaks. I think it's one of the best works he's done. Then in 1997, Lynch will put out Light Highway, which is a surrealist neo-noir psychological thriller, and it stars Bill Pullman, Patricia Arquette, Balthazar Getty, and Robbie Blake, and I think this is actually one of his best movies, if I'm being honest. It received mixed reviews, and it only made 3.8 million. I don't know the budget, but most critics initially dismissed the film as incoherent, but it has since attracted a cult following and critical praise, as well as scholarly interest. And it's the first of three Lynch films set in Los Angeles, followed by Mulholland Drive and Inland Empire. And this one was actually a good one. I actually enjoyed it for what it was. So that's pretty much all I have to say. It's really good. It's one of the best David Lynch. It's probably the most underrated one. I really enjoy this one. So 1999, Lynch put out The Straight Story. Now, this was directed by Lynch. This is a biological road drama film, and this starred Richard Farnsworth, Sissy Spacek, and Harry Dean Stanton, and I actually enjoyed it, and it was a critical success, though it underperformed the box office. Reviewers praised the intensity of the characters' performances, particularly the realistic dialogue. So yeah, this is actually a good David Lynch movie. I actually enjoy it for what it is. Um, so yeah, I actually enjoyed this movie for what it is, and I actually and that's pretty much it. So 2001, Lynch will put out Mulholland Drive. This is a 2001 surrealist neo noir mystery film. It starred Naomi Watts, Laura Harring, Justin Theroux, Ann Miller, Mark Pellegrino, and Robert Forster. And this movie I actually liked it for what it was. Um, it's probably one of the best movies by one of the best ones by David Lynch, and I actually enjoy it for what it was. And it's a good movie. I actually like it. So yeah, so that's Mulholland Drive. Um, so yeah, Mulholland Drive is often regarded as one of Lynch's finest works and one of the greatest films of all time. And yeah, it made 20.1 million on a 50 million budget, which also isn't really a good return. But um, yeah, so let's move. So in 2006, David Lynch will put out Inland Empire, which was an experimental psychological thriller. Um, it starred Laura Dern, Justin Theroux, Harry Dean Stanton, and Grace Zabriskie, and as well as Jeremy Irons, Caroline Griska, Peter J. Lewis, Christoph Majtwas, and Julian Ormond. And this movie is actually one of the best ones. I think it's probably the most underrated. This is one of the best ones he's done. Um, it was generally positive but polarized movies with attention centered on its challenging and surrealistic elements. Um, and as of 2023, this is the last movie David Lynch would direct. He has not directed movies since then. I would love him to direct another movie because I think it's been so long. I would want him to direct another movie, but yeah, as it stands, this is last. I actually enjoy this movie. So let's go into the TV stuff he did. Now we all know 1990 he did Twin Peaks, which was a massive success. He co-wrote this with Mark Frost, and you pretty much know Twin Peaks. It's about homecoming queen Laura Palmer, and it just has supernatural uncanny. It's a serial mystery, surrealism, offbeat humor, and it's and yeah, it ran for 2 seasons. In the years following the first 2 seasons, the show gained a devoted cult following and began reference in a wide variety of media. Twin Peaks is often listed among the greatest television shows of all time and has received universal acclaim from critics and audiences. It's considered a landmark turning prophet in television drama. And yeah, so this was a really good show. I enjoyed it. It was groundbreaking for the time. I love season 1. Season 2 is good. Season 2 is kind of weird because they end the main storyline in the half of season 2, so the other half is kind of like a different storyline. Um, so yeah. So first off, and then let's go on to. Then he went on to do Off the Air. Now, lots of people don't really know Off the Air, but it was a television sitcom created by Mark Frost and David Lynch, and it was basically it was in this. Ian Buchanan was in this. He starred in this. There were only 7 episodes. There was only 1 season and 7 episodes, but only 4 aired in the US. So, 4 aired in the US, but the first and only season it broadcast entirely in the United Kingdom and several European countries. Which I think this is probably the one that people don't really know because it only ran for 1 season and it aired on ABC. I haven't watched this show. I don't know if it's good or not. Then that was in 1992. In 1993, we had Hotel Room, which was also known as David Lynch's Hotel Room. Is an American drama anthology series that aired 3 half-hour episodes on HBO from 1993. Each drama stars a different cast and takes place in a hotel 603 in the years 1969, 1992, and 1936. Yeah, it only had 3 episodes, and the hope if that they will receive a series of episodes in the same standard half hour will be produced. Following a lukewarm reception, HBO chose to not produce more episodes. So yeah, only ran for 3 episodes, which is kind of, I don't know. I feel like they should probably bring this show back, but I don't think they will. You can. There is also another HBO show called Room 104, which was pretty much an anthology series with a similar premise, which premiered in 2017. It was pretty much basically this show. This only had three episodes, so yeah. So yeah. And finally in 2017, we had the third season of Twin Peaks called Twin Peaks: The Return, Twin Peaks limited event, and yeah. So yeah, this ended pretty much Twin Peaks the show because the ratings it had low ratings in season 2, and then basically the network canceled the show. Um, so Twin Peaks so that yeah they canceled ABC canceled the show, so they based season 3 on Showtime. And this show, season 3, was probably one of the best shows they did. And they got all the actors, every actor that came out of retirement, they got them all to come back in this. And yeah, all the main cast come back, and this was a masterpiece. This was just as good as season 1 and even season 2. And yeah, so that's pretty much David Lynch. That's his filmography. David Lynch is probably one of the most influential, one of the best directors. So yeah, this is the first episode of the series. I will be doing more of these. I don't know when I'll do them, but maybe every Friday. And so this was the first episode. So I'm glad you guys liked this. Guys, thank you much for my video. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.